just did a pretty gnarly river crossing in the morning. Everyone's wet. There's that guy down there. It was much bigger further up though. But now we're getting ready to go down this awesome looking valley. I'm really excited. We got up at 3 today. Sometimes you get up at like 2:30 if it's like a big pass. But today, oh god, today is a no pass day. We're doing like 13 miles to the base of the next one. But yesterday we did Kersearge and Glen. And Glen beat the crap out of our knees, so today's nice. Oh man, this valley's gonna be gorgeous. Whoa, it's gorgeous. It could even be dry. This is so ridiculous. This is nice walk. It's almost time to take our specs off. It's a nice walk down. I'm sure we'll be going up one of these passes soon, but not today. It's one of those mornings where you can't believe you live here. We just had a pretty gnarly stream crossing. It was so cold. I had to stand in the water like in the deepest part to help a few people cross, and ended up staying there for like the whole conga line. And oh my god, my legs. I was doing like shadow boxing by the creek for a while, just trying to get blood to flow back through my legs and stuff. And they're all joking that I had hypothermia because I was like, guys, my calves are now warmer than the rest of me, which is probably not good. And great. Hey, if your feet are still wet, right? Just walk in. Everyone's behind me now. They all stopped to cheer. Jesus, look at that. I'm not sure if this will... There we go. Man. They all stopped to get all that rocks and detritus that goes into your feet or footwear on a crossing. I just couldn't. I'm too cold. I gotta keep moving. I think in like a mile and a half or 2 miles there's some sort of suspension bridge. At least that's what everyone keeps calling it. That seems like a natural place to stop for lunch, even though it's not yet 9 in the morning. It is midway through our daily toil. And if how my face felt yesterday is any indication, I will need to slather up on sunscreen. Because I am a burnt mess. I switched from that obnoxious wide-brimmed hat to just like a cool trucker hat I found in Bishop that was like, you know, some local artist did Sierra designs or whatever. I don't know. It was strangely large, so it actually fit my noggin. So I bought it. But then, you know, I've been so used to the protection that old hat offered that I've got sunburns in all sorts of places I haven't had since like staying 2 hours late at the pool in 3rd grade or something. Oh man. Oh, what a place to hang the hammock. I am getting that back in Mammoth, I think. My tent has a couple of, not necessarily holes, but like wear spots. I can't really explain it. And just a few issues, but after being out here, I think I can make a hammock work, and oh, I want it bad. I'm like a video burst this morning. I haven't filmed anything in a while. This is the first time, I'm sure they're only like a half mile behind me. But this is the first time I've really hiked alone in a while, since, you know, in the Sierra we kind of stick together for safety and all that. It's nice. I'm really digging it. You don't really have the freedom out here that you have like in the desert or in through hikes in general. Like you have to, even in the desert to an extent, because you got to wake up early out there to avoid the heat and everything. Or out here we wake up real early so the snow's frozen and walkable. And then we just have to go to bed really early or just be miserable. And we're kind of restricted, oh my god, restricted to a 1 pass day kind of thing. Just because by the time we get, if we could get to a 2nd pass, it's just so slushy and it's dangerous on a lot of these steep ones. But check this out. Hang on. There we go. Bam. Still got that mist in the air. Isn't that gnarly? We got all sorts of stuff up there too. Also, this is the first stretch of like trail instead of snow I've seen in days, a week. Look at it. Dirt. This valley. This is one of my favorite stretches, I think, of this whole trail so far. I mean, those are cool. Man! Earlier that fog was so thick. It was awesome. Kind of morning that kind of keeps you in shock that you live out here or have the privilege to live out here for however brief a time. Man, it's so amazing. Surrounded by all these alpine streams. I switched to bleach too instead of my Sawyer for water. So I have like the smallest dropper bottle. One little drop, give it 20 minutes. Don't even have to take my pack off anymore. And you fill water from these streams and it's like the clearest water you've ever seen, maybe minus a pine needle or two. Probably don't even need the bleach, but you put that one drop in there, give it a shake, throw it in the pack. Love it. We can share the trail, it's okay. You were here first. Hey, what's up? That's it, huh? Okay. You go that way, I'll go this way.
Yeah, they always ask for money at the border.
Beautiful.
Do you know why? I'm Pinchot.
Is it really?
Yep. No, I didn't know that. In Cambodia.
Summit of Pinchot Pass, or Pinchot. Not a bad climb.
Is it a
Oh,
it needs another hour in the sun.
yeah. So after a pretty good morning, we got in. We woke up like an hour later than usual, so 4 to be on the trail by 5-ish. Went up Pinchot Pass, which I actually learned my first overnight attempt was on the southern loop of the Pinchot Trail in Pennsylvania. I say attempt because it's a 14-mile loop, and I got there too early and passed all the good camping spots. And when I was tired and my dog looked bushed, I decided to look for a spot and then pulled out the map and saw that I was only a mile away from my car, and we just did the whole loop and drove home. Anyway, that's called the Pinchot Trail, and we just crossed the Pinchot Pass. And it was good. But the sun came up and it's been intense all day, and the last like we stopped for lunch at like 10 or 11, and by the time we left it was just like post-hole city. It was horrible. We did like 2 or 3 miles of just sinking in every other step, soft slush. So now I'm here. I believe Mather Pass is, let's see, I don't feel like walking in the snow in my Crocs, but it's on the other side of this tree. That's tomorrow morning, waking up really early. This is my view for the day, which I think is pretty awesome. The downside would be, this is my campsite for the day. This is the only dry patch I could find. It's very cozy, as you can tell. I've got my light hard gear So Long 6 down here. Obviously not set up all the way yet. It's just staked out now. And yeah, that's it. This little spot I'm standing on is going to be like my porch for everything, cooking and whatnot. I've got some stuff drying out over there. There's another nook over there that's really shady where I might sit and read for like the 5 or 6 hours I have before I need to go to sleep. It's like 2 o'clock now. Still, it was like a 14-mile day, which is a pretty long day in the Sierra on a very high snow year anyway. Tomorrow should be a longer day. Everyone says Mather Pass is pretty scary, but I think that's due to the height and like the crazy switchbacks. But now, since we haven't really been seeing switchbacks because of the snow, most people have been charging hard like vertically up the face of a lot of these passes. And that's home for the night. The So Long 6. Pretty spacious. I do like this tent. It's pretty spacious. Not quite as spacious as I like. Like they say it's for people like 6'8" or so. I'm 6'3" or 4 on a good day. And like the ceiling is extraordinarily close to my face if I'm in like a good pad. I started with the Sea to Summit Etherlight, which is 4 inches thick and super cush. I got like 4 or 5 pinholes in that, so it is in the mail right now, and I'm borrowing my knee aware that I lent to a friend. He's off trail for a few weeks to like work on his knee injuries or whatever, so I borrowed that pad from him, and I'm using that now, and that's only 2.5 inches thick, so I've noticed it actually makes a huge difference. But yeah, 6'3", broad shoulders, big giant mongoloid of a dude, and this tent works, but there have been some issues. I guess I'll go into that later. Some of the seam sealer came off. I've noticed some like little wear holes. I can't call them punctures. But all in all, it's been a good tent. Like, I'm still going to address all those things and repair them with seam sealer or talk to the manufacturer, but worth noting, solid tent if you're a tall dude. All right, I'm gonna I was just thinking, the nice part about like solo kind of dispersed camping like this is that you don't really have to think about other people, and you can be naked or do whatever you want to do. And I was just like, don't have to announce it to anyone, don't have to like go behind a bush. And I was just like walked right over there to my back porch, took off my pants and was about to change my underwear to like my clean camp underwear, and like just then I turned and see like 2 hikers right over there and was like, maybe I'll wait. And now I think they're walking right towards me, and I'm standing here talking to you in my underwear. Awesome. After I explained to them why I was standing there in my underwear, I got the requisite story of, the time I like woke up, sunrise, taking a pee off a rock, and you turn around and there's like 4 people coming out from behind another rock, and you're just like, and then after a while you just kind of rotate and you're fine. No one really cares about that sort of thing out here. But now, much more importantly, it's time to go into the bear can. I've been saving a dehydrated meal. A mesquite barbecue seasoned chicken with beans and rice. And my little Ziploc filled with honey roasted peanuts and M&Ms. Living good.
Absolutely beautiful sunrise, but the way down.
Yeah, Nibbles. Oh god, that was kind of terrifying at times. So we came down Mather, and now we have this. This is just amazing. And we got to take our spikes off because over here, it's called the Golden Staircase, which is still kind of snowy, but we start there, around there, and then I don't know where it goes, but then we end up down there, and it's like nice dirt trail, which is a rarity, and then just miles of dry woods before we go up Muir Pass. Awesome. Trail crew doing volunteer work.
I definitely cannot fit under that.
I can't believe in the span of like an hour we've gone from snowy passes and flats to just deep pine forest. I might even camp out on actual dirt tonight. Benefits of hiking in a high snow year. Man. Whoop. Oh, PCT, I love you. Oh, just Sierra things. I cannot get over. Oh, look at that water. This place is absurd. This morning over Mather Pass, all that ice, a good deal hiking, and then we see this big green valley and dirt. It's been a long time since I've hiked more than like 30 yards of dirt, except for that one day going into that other valley. So there's a theme here. The valleys in the Sierra are wonderful. I mean, and look at this. Just ridiculous. Here I'm standing on an avalanche field, coming from somewhere way there. Now that's a snow bridge. When you find a better spot. It's the pros of a freestanding tent in the Sierra. You're passing the books. Nice little snow cone.
Yeah. People always talk about finding yourself on trail, and that was it right there.
Yeah, that was the most.
Peekaboo, I'm here! I'm not as strong as I thought I was.
Water realizations of that demo.
I found that it actually likes snow.
Yeah. I found out through hiking, not for me.